What is it that you would say are like some things you believe could be stopping young men from actually getting married?
I mean, I think even the economy is enough to to make some people not want to marry. I think there's a perception, and social media is great. We get a lot of things. It's useful, but then again, what people see online, what people read online, is negatively affecting people's perceptions about how things should be.
Guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is IK. If you're new, welcome to the channel. In this particular video, we'll be doing like something a little bit different. I do have my friend Adiolu here, and he is actually a wedding photographer. He's been doing this for a couple of years now, and he seems to understand and have like, depth knowledge about the dynamics of, couples in terms of, when they're trying to get married or settle down. So in this particular podcast, we're just going to be asking him a few questions. We'll be having an interaction with him, to try to get to understand like, his exposure with this kind of things, and just share with us like his in-depth knowledge over the years. Guys, just join me and welcome my friend. His name is Adiolu. He's right here. My
Thank
friend
you.
Adiolu, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, nice to be here. Nice to be in your lovely space.
That's good. I appreciate you coming. I know like you have a very busy schedule, and making out the time to come and have this conversation with us is absolutely important. So thank you for coming here. We do appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Just tell us a little bit about yourself, in this space of like relationship and, having taken pictures of a lot of couples and, interacting with them. Just tell us like what you do and how much you enjoy it, and, just share generally with us so we understand.
Yeah, sure. I'm a wedding photographer. I've been doing that for about 11 years now, 10 to 11. I think I went to photo school 2013. So professionally since 2014, so 10 years. I should actually, celebrate my anniversary.
You do your 10-year
10
anniversary.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Cool.
So, and I've been, doing all sort of things, but mostly weddings. That has been my core. Shot quite a number of people. Sometimes I don't even remember some of my couples.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've gotten close to some people, some of my couples as well, and it's been a great journey. It's been fun. It's been rewarding, and I'm glad.
Okay, that's good to hear. I just wanted to know from you, like having talked to and interacted and shot like a lot of, couples, do you like notice dynamics with relationships? And do you actually, this question was actually reserved for you for last, but for some reason, I feel like it's important to put it out there. Do you notice like any sort of different dynamics in terms of people who are actually in love, people who are feeling it, and people who may not, people who you feel that maybe they are not into this, or maybe you just feel like they are trying to settle down for the sake of getting married, or like, is there any difference with it, like in terms of this world of photography, when you see the dynamics between partners, especially when you're taking their pictures and all that?
Generally people have different personalities. So the person you think may not be in love might actually be the one that is more in love out of the two. So it depends on their personality. Some people can be very expressive. They really want to show, express their love. Some are very private people. They just they would show more when they're alone with their partners. So it's hard to be able to judge. However, there's also the people that, you see and you're like, these bros, or maybe you're shooting and then they are probably having conversations and you're like, the way this conversation is going is like these people have another agenda. So it's about personality ultimately. You really cannot tell. Even the people that feel like they're saying stuff, they may actually be it might just be something they're saying, but in the real sense of it, there's a lot to share. That's not to say that every couple have shot. I can say that 100% these people are in love. I've
Yeah.
seen people that are in love. You see them, you also want to fall in love. Because you
Mm.
see the dynamic between the couple, you see how they share, you see how they talk, and then because the way I shoot my weddings, for example, um, it's a story, right from the first day we meet. If I shoot your engagement photos, for example, from there I begin to get an insight into the kind of people you are, and
Yeah.
that's something I ask them even before I shoot an event. I'm like, hey, do you want to tell me about who you are? Are you very expressive? Are you who's likely to be shy outside? Who's likely to? So all of these things would help me to know a little bit about a little more about these people, and then over time, when you get to the wedding, when you see certain things they do, you're not too surprised,
Yeah.
and then they can
Okay.
inspire. In some cases, you just see someone that is so calm, and then it teaches you. You learn from how they react to things.
Okay. Okay. I hear a lot of things from you based off of that. So you're what I'm understanding is that it starts first with personality.
Mhm.
So understanding their personality and then like the way they are with each other at first is a reflection of their personality first and not necessarily how they are feeling about the other person.
Yeah, I mean, because it starts with personality. We all have personalities, right? So it starts from there, and how much you're able to. I mean, an introvert, for example, would be is less likely to want to kiss outside. You know what I mean? Or maybe first dance, or maybe first kiss. At the reception, they are less likely to want to kiss for 1 minute. They'll
Yeah.
rather just do the quick peck, when the MC says, hey, give you let's do our first kiss, and they just do it and they want to move on, not because they're not in love, not because they don't like to do that, but it's just who they are.
I see.
So in some cases it starts from there, and then but again, another person who enjoys PDA, who would do anything,
Uh,
just they say kiss and then you see them already touching and like, bros, calm down. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, okay. That actually adds a lot more insight into what we're trying to understand here. So, just moving on from that, we may still come back to this, but the concept of marriage we know that is instituted by God, right? But to a large extent, I've noticed that a lot of young people, a lot of young men are actually like shying away from marriage. This is something that I talk about a lot in one of my videos. I don't know if you can speak a little bit to this in any way because what is happening now is that I guess young people are not finding that incentive to be married, especially men. I might know a few reasons. Say maybe some people are afraid of maybe intimacy or divorce or all that stuff and how they will lose economically. But what is it that you would say are like some things you believe could be stopping young men from actually getting married? Were you ever in that position? What changed your mind? Just like I'm trying to, as per somebody who is already settled, we just want to see your own view on
Yeah.
this, basically.
I mean, I think even the economy is enough to to make some people not want to marry. Seriously, I think there's a perception, you know, um, and social media is great. We get a lot of things. It's useful, but then again, how what people see online, what people read online, is is negatively affecting people's perceptions about how things should be. A lot of people focus on celebrities, or you see it's like a norm, you know, two celebrities get married 1 year down the line, they're done. It's so easy to like quit, they're ready to move on. And then, but these stories stay for a while. So what you see every single time is this couple that got divorced, and then the next thing, another couple, celebrities, they break out again, and then the story breaks out again, and then it's another story about people that are getting divorced. But nobody really talks about those celebrities that have been married for so many years. But the narrative that is out there is divorce is real. I mean, of course, divorce is real, but the narrative out there is everybody gets divorced. So some people are either not, especially young men. And I know there's a lot more. There's the story about I haven't found someone, and it can be true. I mean, I know that a lot of people say, oh, you haven't found someone because you're not paying attention or you're not doing this. But the truth is, in some cases, some people have not found someone.
Genuinely.
Genuinely, for many reasons known to them. You know, you know what you want. If you don't find what you want, there's no need to settle, because that's how you get divorced, because you're settling.
Yeah.
So a lot of people try to avoid some of these things, and I know there are many other things. People are some men want to play around. They feel like they'll be tied down. They feel like they will start raising a family they are not ready for. All of those things may be valid. But I think it's important to also know that there's a narrative that is out there that a lot of people just stay focused on, and then it's the fact that, oh yeah, everybody's getting divorced, so what's the point?
I hear from you that negativity is being pushed more, and that enforces a certain belief about marriage.
Absolutely.
And then that makes people stay away from it because they are scared of that negative outcome instead of focusing on the positives as well.
Yeah, and they're not just scared. They just see it as what will happen. So it's not, oh, what if it happens? To some of them, it is what will happen. And then, of course, or the other part where they show a guy, for example, on social media, who is expressing love. No, let me say that another way. They show a woman who is expressing love to a guy, a husband, or maybe her boyfriend. And then instead of people to just appreciate what that is, they go, well, no matter what you do, it will still cheat on you. So there's no faith, there's no belief in the fact that some people can be genuine, and then so every guy is thinking, well, this is how everybody thinks about me. This is the assumption people have, or every lady is also thinking that way. And then they're like, so what's the point?
That's a very important thing you said there, because like it all still boils down to the media and how the media is influencing young people.
Yes.
So you're saying that the positives are not actually being pushed.
Yes.
It's just the negative narratives about marriage, and that also makes people to be more apprehensive about stepping into it. That's I never really, sometimes I never really thought about it that way, but I can see how like big social media can be, how much influence it can be on young people.
Yes.
There are so many like advice there, as regards to marriage, and people get influenced by it. And you made a very important point about celebrities and how we look up to them, but they don't seem to live up to the best standard for marriage. So who should really be setting the standard for a marriage setting here? Like,
I mean, everybody has his or her own cross to carry. If the fact that you see an armed robber does not mean that it should inspire you. Like, it's you're responsible for how you live. So if a celebrity decides to live recklessly, I'm not saying that getting divorced is reckless. No, that's not what I'm saying. But if a celebrity decides to live their way in a particular way, that's up to them. That's totally fine. It's their call. They can do whatever they want to do. But what people push, a celebrity lives his life in a particular way. Now, people take it. Millions of people begin to talk about it, and they push that as far as it can go. And people begin to pick that. In some cases, these celebrities have reasons for doing what they're doing. Reasons that would never make it to the public. But you don't know that. The only information you have is what people are saying. And that's what people take. Celebrities are not responsible for divorce. No, they are not. They are just normal people. The only thing is they're celebrities. So when something happens to them, you hear about it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying here is the way people push the narrative when it's negative, they don't give the same energy when
When
it
it's
is
positive.
positive. So you see celebrities that have been married for 30 years. Nobody's saying anything about it. Or even 5 years or even 10 years. Nobody's saying anything because that's not what everybody's excited about. But once you hear that they're having issues or whatever, then everybody jumps on it.
That actually seems like the norm with life. When something is negative, it's
Yeah.
being pushed out more.
Yes.
Like even with your work, right? When you make a mistake, your boss will call that out more than anything else, or
Absolutely.
something does go well. But if you're always doing well, performing at the top, that's not something that they will often call out.
Yeah.
But they will call out the negative.
Yes.
But it's just an observation there in terms of how that's like a thing, even with life. So people take like the normal good thing for granted.
Yeah.
Say a couple has been married for 30 years. Nobody sees that as something we really need to celebrate and ask them, how did you guys do it? How have you been, together for this long and making it work? But people who are together for like 5 years and then they separate, it becomes a big thing, and everyone gets deterred
Yeah.
by it in terms of getting married.
Yeah.
So, but my question is, my wonder still remains like who sets the standard now for marriage? Typically, we know marriage was instituted by God, but then the state has also like hijacked marriage to an extent. When you are getting married, you go to the church as per a Christian. If you're a Christian, the church will wed you. But when you're getting a divorce, the state would would divorce you guys. So why isn't it really the church that still handles the divorce? They can't, because the state, is the one that separates it. So based off of these controversies, like who do we actually look up to and say, this is the person that these are the group of people or the type of people that we can actually emulate marriage from, or that can actually encourage the idea of marriage, or that can actually build more confidence within young people to settle down.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a wonder for me.
Yeah. So first, I think again, it's an individual race, right? You may not have the right set of people around you. You just have to make your own decision. At the end of the day, marriage is about two people, right? And you are responsible for how far your marriage goes. You're responsible for how successful it turns out to be. Of course, if you have, if you grew up in a family that that you could tell the kind of love between your parents, you could look up to that. You could emulate that if you think that it's the kind of standard you want to have in your own home.
Yes.
Right. So you can always do that. If you have mentors, that can help you with that, you can always do that. But ultimately, it is about you. I've seen people that grew up in a home where the dad was a drunkard. He was a woman beater and all of those things, but it did not necessarily mean that they turned out that way. In some cases, it's not. You have the right, you can change the narrative for yourself, because it's about you. So ultimately, it's about how you fight for what you started. Marriage is a decision, right? It's a decision that you make because you love someone, because you want to spend the rest of your life with that person. So each time you think about the choices you made before you got into that union, you should be able to fight for it. Because it's your responsibility.
That's deep. Like the choices, the reason you got into that marriage, each time you feel like you need to pull out or get away from it, remember the reasons you got into it.
Yeah, because it's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be, like there won't always be butterflies in your belly, but there has to be more. That's why marriage goes beyond the beauty of a woman or the riches of a woman or the man, or how handsome or tall the guy is, or whatever. It goes a lot beyond that. Those things are good. Of course, if you have money, you enjoy marriage as well, as much as you can. But it does not mean that is what brings happiness. right?
Absolutely.
So exactly.
Absolutely. The real question also is like the real question that a lot of young people ask themselves is, how do I know she's the one? I know like this is a question that a lot of people have like, it's become cliche. Like people throw it around, but it's still true. How do you actually know somebody is the person for you? What is the conviction that you feel? What is the connection? What is the where do you get your conviction from? Because people have different experiences. Some people have said, it's God. God told me that this person is my wife or this person is my husband. I didn't, as at that time, I didn't believe, I didn't think he was right for me or she was right for me, but I went into it believing God. And then it turned out well. I fell in love with them, all that stuff, right? So a story like that, I don't know if sometimes I don't know if I buy into it because like walking into something like marriage without any sort of conviction of your own is actually a little bit dangerous.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's just general, like for a man, how does a man know that this person is the one for them? What is the conviction you feel? Even if you're able to relate it to your own experience in that way, not that you're telling us like your story in that manner, but if you search even within you, what was the feeling you got? What was the conviction you got that this your wife is your partner for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with I'm a Christian first and foremost, and I
Hmm.
believe in God, and I believe that God leads us in the right direction and He tells you what to do.
Yeah.
So if you're someone that has a relationship with God, it should be easy. Hopefully, you
Hmm.
know, it's not going to be. It's not always, hey, my son, that is your wife. It's not
Mm.
always going to be that, but in some
Hmm.
cases, like I like to say to people that some of the prayers some of us prayed many years back are the things we are saying now, right? Back in school, they would say, pray for your future, pray for your future work or your career, pray for your partner,
Mm.
pray for your children.
Yeah.
It felt like, well, let's pray, but some cases we're sealing some things some decisions we'll make 10 years down the line or 15 years down the line. So in some cases, some of us, if you have that relationship with God, it helps you to make easy decisions. It helps you to know what you need to know. It helps you to be convinced. But then again, you also need to like the person, right? So I'm not taking out the fact that, oh yeah, there's just one person somewhere and then
Hmm.
it's just this is your wife, and then
Yeah.
you jump at the person. You have
Yeah.
to be sure that you're hearing the right voice or
Hmm.
you're getting the right conviction.
Hmm.
But then again, if you're not the person who was built that relationship, I'm hoping that everybody or at some point
Builds that with
we
the.
all get there,
Hmm.
you know, but you should feel some sort of peace inside you. And I know that even that peace is cliche, but there's a way you feel around person A that is not the same with person B.
Mm.
And then it's a sign. It's just letting you know that you're better off with this person,
Yeah.
and then that feeling is a function of many other things in terms of, and that's you thinking, okay, my future career, this person is there. I can see how well this person is pushing a career. I
Hmm.
can see how well this person cares about me. I can see how well this person cares about ourselves. I can see how well this person cares about if you want kids. You know, you can see how well the person cares about kids. All of those things, you're already seeing them, and that's how you're making your decision.
Hmm.
If you know that you're the kind of person who does not want somebody that sits at home and just does not do
Yeah.
anything, you can't feel peace around that person. So it's about all the things you're feeling based on what you're expecting or what you're hoping for or what you're praying for in someone. You begin to get the sense that, okay, this is the person. I've been with, um, someone where you just know, like, nah, and it's not
Yeah.
because this person is not beautiful or
Yeah.
not necessarily because the person doesn't have a career ahead of them,
Hmm.
but you just see some other things that you're just like,
What
no.
are what are some things you could possibly see or feel that will make you be like, no, this is not the person for me? Could that be like more? personal, obviously, to that individual and what you prioritize.
I mean, again, it's about what you want, what you're thinking. What your personality is.
Yes.
If you're the kind of person who enjoys being around people, who talk and laugh and all that,
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't necessarily do the same thing, but you like being in that space, and you find that your the person you're liking or you think is should be your wife
Mm-hmm.
is is one of those people who talk and who
Mm.
are loud and all of those
Yeah.
things. Maybe you like that. You like to be in that person's presence. You like to
Mm-hmm.
hear that person speak. The person makes you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things. Yes. But if you don't like someone that talks a lot, and then you see somebody that is talking too much,
Mm.
it would send some signals. It
Yeah.
does not necessarily mean that does not. It does not necessarily mean that person is not right for you.
Yeah.
It's just like an accumulation of everything.
Mm-hmm.
When you compare, when you put everything together, what
Yeah.
gives you the most peace? What
Mm.
what are you able to deal with this one?
Mm-hmm.
Because you won't find that perfect person. You won't find the person that ticks all the boxes. Like you have 1 to 100, and then you get somebody that ticks 1 to 100. It's impossible. Even if they tick 1 to 100 in 2 years' time, 50 will fall off. So, but
Mm.
it's a matter of what are the deal breakers. For me, for example, would I marry someone who's not a Christian or who's not born again? No, I won't do that.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of knowing the deal breakers
Mm-hmm.
and then the things you can deal with, the things you can work with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do I care about somebody that presses toothpaste from the middle? Maybe I
I don't
don't
actually
care.
care about that.
Maybe I don't care, but I know
Mm-hmm.
some people do.
Yeah.
If you really don't like it, but maybe you don't really mind,
Mm-hmm.
then you can do it.
Yes.
So it's up to you.
Yeah. In the process of dating for men, I notice that a lot of men may just be considering like one or two women, may just be within their radar, right? And you notice that this particular woman is meeting some needs. This one is meeting the other needs that this one is not meeting. So sometimes it seems like some men are able to date successfully two different women because they are meeting different needs.
I like how you say successfully.
So, yeah, there's a little bit of progress with with dating two women simultaneously, and not that obviously that's encouraged. It's not, but for many men who have been doing this or who live in this sort of manner, right, where they're dating two women, some of them obviously the women may know, some of them those women do not know, and now you want to narrow your heart, your love to one person when you've been getting all your needs met from different sources. How do you actually begin to even navigate a situation like that? Because if you're an individual who, people, these women meet your needs, well, and now that you're planning to get married, it gets a little more difficult knowing that you have to compromise a lot of things because you've been used to a certain lifestyle. So how do you choose even between two women who may be meeting certain needs and how do you end up choosing who should be the right person for you? I mean, like I heard you talk about deal breakers. It may start with that, but let's say those deal breakers don't even like they are not there for those two. Maybe
Mhm.
they are equally Christians, maybe they are equally all these things that you want, but somehow they are meeting different needs. What does it now come down to for you to say, I'm going for this person?
Okay, so I mean, honestly, I think the foundation is already bad. You
Mm,
already set a bad expectation for what you should be getting.
yeah.
It's if you already know that there are no chances that you would get married to two people, you can't date two
Two
people.
people at the same time. Mm,
Because I mean, and I know, of course, there's the world where people just want to flex, they just want to do whatever they want to do. That's
mhm,
okay, but it's also an indication that even those two people should not be the people you get married to. If you
mm,
can share yourself with those two people, someone you actually really love and respect,
mhm,
you will stay with her. And that's just a simple truth. But the foundation has been laid very badly, because then you already have this expectation. These two people would always solve all the things you need, but you can only get one person. Then it becomes a problem. Because the day that one person is not answering, is not getting you those other things that the other person used to
You'll fall back
provide,
to.
it becomes a problem. You would never be able to move forward. And that's why it's important to, and I know that it's not always necessary to, it doesn't mean that you did this one, check everything, and then you drop. If it doesn't work, then you did this one, check everything, it doesn't work, you drop, check, and then you keep checking like that. But there's also a place of growing together, understanding what you want and what the person wants. The same way that person is growing for you, you're growing for that person as well. You're beginning to understand each other. Those things that you want. Oh, this person is a career-driven person, but this one is not a career-driven person. But you want a career-driven person. You're more likely to go towards that person. Which is the fact. But you now decide, okay, because this other one is a good cook, and then you want to drop the one that is career-driven because you like food. There's going to be a problem, because you have not found the opportunity to see if the one that can cook can also be a career-driven person. Because the entire time you just believed this one is not career-driven. So it's important to, in the real sense of it, you want to spend the rest of your life with this person. Yes. Once you know certain things, once you know that some things will never change, these are the things that won't change, you move on, and all of these things you will deal with before you guys get married. It's not something you deal with when you get married.
Yeah.
You just have to see that, okay, these things can grow, these things can get better. You can inspire this person to be a better version of themselves, not necessarily what you want them to be. And it's just about everybody being better, getting better at what they do. And that's exactly what it is.
That's absolutely true. How important would you say that physical attraction is in terms of a marriage? Because a lot of men also get caught up in that space where they know this woman is a good woman. Okay, I have this understanding. This is a good woman. This person is a Christian. This person is ideal for me, but I don't have that sort of attraction for her. I don't have that sort of physical attraction towards her. And it's actually a thing that I've noticed with, I've talked to a lot of men and I've noticed it's a thing. And then you see them, maybe they are even more, they might be attracted to a different kind of girl that may not necessarily be that good girl, or maybe she is, but not as good as the one, that they are not attracted to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a difficult space to be for a lot of young men. They know deep within them that this woman is a good woman. Like, she could make a good home for me. She will make a great wife. She will make a great mother. She will nurture. She will take care of things. I need a woman like this. But then I don't feel this way about her. Like my body doesn't feel this way about her.
Yeah.
How is this something that a man could actually end up attaining, where you attain that physical attraction for that person? Or do you think it's not something you should ever compromise on because it could lead to further problems tomorrow?
I genuinely think that everybody should be attracted to whoever they want to get married to. If we were talking about 50 years ago or 70 years ago, where, where I'm from, where it never really mattered who the person looked like, where it was just, oh yeah, this one will just be at home and will be cooking and taking care of the kids and all of those things, then maybe nobody would care. But now where you're going out together, you're doing all sort of things together, you don't want to wake up in the morning and you're like, we can't paro with this. There has to be something. You have to be attracted to the person. If you don't have that attraction yet, you wait until you're able to build it, if you can build it. But you cannot marry someone on the basis of, oh yeah, I think this person is going to be able to take care of the home. Or I think this person is, and it goes both ways, girl, guy. There has to be something that you have to be excited about something. Absolutely. If you just wanted someone that will take care of your home, get a maid. That will just be there clean the house, do everything. They go back home the next after when they are done. You want to get kids, okay, adopt some kids, get another maid to take care of them. That's just it. But there has to be more. So it's not a contract. I know they say marriage is a contract. I mean, we all sign, but there has to be an expression. There's an exchange. There's an exchange of feelings. You have to feel somewhere about this person. That's how the person would travel, and then you would long to see the person. You wait for the person to come back. You would expect the person to come back. Not that, oh, you want to travel? Yeah, you can stay for 6 months because you're not bothered. That's not how marriage was designed.
Do you still believe in marriage? I know, like, obviously you're married, but do you like have faith in it as an institution, obviously set up by God, given the level of discouragement, or the level of like deterrent from young people not wanting to settle down? On the other hand, do you see the reasons that young people actually do not want to settle down? Do you think they are valid? Do you think those reasons are valid? And yeah, just
Oh yeah, 100%. I still very much believe in marriage. Fully
yeah.
into it. I think if we bring out the data, you know that there are even more successful marriages than the failed ones.
Mm.
So 100% I believe in that. And yes, I also understand why some people may be a little skeptical when it comes to marriages.
Hmm.
Again, all comes down to the narrative. The narrative is not right.
Yeah.
What people hear is not right. What people put out there is
Hmm.
not right. It's almost like there's a perception that every guy cheats. Like every single man cheats.
Mm.
And people believe that. People hold that. But it's wrong. You know, and until we begin to change that narrative, some people would continue to hold on to it.
Mm.
So yes, and again, if a guy feels that getting married is going to take away his freedom, it's because of the narrative. Why would you not be free? Again, it comes down to your choice. Who are you getting married to? Are you getting married to someone that's going to change your lifestyle entirely? I mean, I know you would have to make some adjustments.
Yeah.
In life, we make adjustments. As you grow from 20 years old to 30 years old, you will make some adjustments. So but but until we change some narratives that are out there, where people have certain where people say certain things and people just hold on to it as true,
Hmm.
people will continue to be skeptical about
About
marriages.
marriage generally.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a traditional man where you prefer like the traditional setting of a home? Because right now, the challenge is a lot of women do not necessarily want to operate in that traditional space, especially maybe due to modern feminism or, a lot of things, social media that's being preached out there. What sort of setting for a home do you think would typically still work to today? Like, because I know when you many men have reasons why they get married. Like you said, some people might get married because they want to maybe have someone in the house or a maid that is literally your wife is literally a maid to you. And I think that's what feminism is also about. They're trying to like say women are not maids. We're not. We're supposed to be equals. All that stuff, right? So how would you speak on modern feminism and equality of men and women in a home? Do you typically believe that a man and a woman are equals?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we're equal. Responsibilities should not be assigned by gender, right?
Mhm.
It's a function of. It should be a function of who does it better.
Absolutely.
Now, naturally, I think I've said it a couple of times. The reason a woman might cook for you is not because it's a responsibility she should carry. It's out of care. Until we begin to understand that some of these things are done out of how people feel. The reason I would go extra miles to make sure that I put food on my table, on my family's table, is because I care for my family. So if my wife decides to sit down today and says, which she would never do, by the way, because but if she decides to sit down today and says she doesn't want to work anymore, it is still my responsibility to provide. Now I'm taking that responsibility up, not because, oh yeah, I'm a man, but because I care about my family. They cannot suffer, so I have to make sure something happens. So if my wife cooks for me, it's not because it is a duty to cook for me. It is because she's doing that out of the love she has for me. So if she sees that I'm sitting down and I'm hungry or I've not eaten, and then she decides to put something together, good. Personally, I mean, my wife can always testify to that. I never ask for food.
Yeah.
I never say, oh, I want to eat this. Maybe I crave something. I'll be like, a fried rice go, it do me to chop fried rice. So, and then if she's able to do it, fine. If not, I enter the kitchen, do whatever it is that I want to do. But I never ask for it. Thankfully, she doesn't make me ask for it. Because, yes, when she can, she does it. But what's stopping me from going to make what I want to eat? The same way she would not come and depend on me to buy shoes for her. Because she knows to make her own money to get whatever she wants to get. So once we take out the assumption that, because you're the wife, then you should be doing this. Because you're the man, you should be doing this. Maybe our lives would be a lot easier.
There's a little bit of a high level of truth with that for sure. Because for me, I feel like at the end of the day, within the setting of a home, there's something you said there that's very important, which is true. People should walk in their strength. So a man should walk in his strength, a woman should walk in their strength. Not because a woman is a woman, then you say it's your responsibility to cook. There are some men who are chefs and they are married to somebody who may not be able to cook and they don't care about that. So they take up the cooking. So I strongly believe that the setting of a home should be based off of your strengths, functioning off of your strength, like you said.
Or what you care about. What you want to do it.
Yes.
Like it's just like snow falls now, there's a snowstorm and I'm stronger. Maybe I can clear the snow. But my wife has also joined me to clear the snow before, so it's not my responsibility, even though of course it's a harder thing to do. And if I had my way, I wouldn't even do it at all.
Yeah.
But we do it together. So if we can do that together, why can't we cook together? And if I feel like, oh yeah, you know what? She's been cooking the last couple of days. You two rest. Let me cook as much as I can. If it tastes nice, good. If it doesn't, you eat it like that. But let's just eat whatever we have. The day we cannot both cook, let's buy food outside and eat. Because nobody is supposed to come and die in anybody's house. So just do things as it comes. And if you take out assigning those roles or those responsibilities to people, you would find your lives to be easier. Again, I won't fault the people that especially in the past, where it was the responsibility of the woman to cook. At that time, it was also the responsibility of the man
To go hunt.
to provide, to go hunt. So if a man goes out from the morning and then comes back at night, it's only right to at least have food to
Yes,
eat, because that's all you're supposed to do. But if I'm telling my wife, hey, Alpha, okay, now they've paid you, Abby. Okay, they've paid me too. Let's bring it together. Let's think of what we want to do. How do we plan this? If we are paying mortgage together, if we are paying rent together, if we are contributing our monies together to do everything, why should she now carry one responsibility and own it? Then it doesn't make sense. Then you're not fair. And I know that sometimes the feminism agenda from the people that are extreme can be a little too extreme.
Yes.
Because, again, that's how some things are designed, people go too far. But the original agenda of feminism is that just make sure that everything is equal and balanced. You know, if I bring, you bring. If you bring, I bring. Let's do it together. Nobody's assigned to these responsibilities.
No, that's absolutely true. You spoke of duty and love. So, what is the relationship? I feel like there's a huge relationship between both. So, if we take a step back, as a young man, knowing your strengths and your weaknesses are important before you get into a marriage. So, I'm guessing like for somebody like me, before I find a partner, I need to fully know what my strengths are and then what my weaknesses are, and maybe be tilting towards choosing a woman that would complement me in terms of maybe my weakness or where my weakness is her strength. I'm just wondering, is that sort of thought process, is it ideal? Is it what makes sense? Because obviously you're supposed to complement. You guys are supposed to complement each other. But say I don't know how to cook, for example, and there are some other expectations that I have of a woman as per domestication in a home. Should I be more focused in looking for a woman who may also know how to cook, may also know how to do some other things so that there can be more complement of each other? Or it doesn't really matter, just look for somebody you are in love with and somebody you can walk life out with?
Yeah. So if you look for somebody who covers your own weaknesses, are you covering the person's weaknesses?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great question though.
Because you may not know.
Yes.
You know, oh yeah, you need somebody that can cook. All right. Yeah, I'm here. I'm a very good cook. I can cook 10 times a day for you. We're eating fresh food
Yeah.
every single day. Okay. And then this same person says, well, I also want a man that would provide everything that I want. I want to travel once a month to a new country. Are you able to do that? That, well, it's our weakness. Our weakness is traveling. Are you able to provide all of that? Then you would find that you may not exactly be complementing each other because you're only thinking about what you
Yourself.
want and not what the other person wants. So it goes beyond, oh yeah, these are my needs. And I'm hoping that this person will be able to will be able to meet these needs because it goes beyond that. You have to think about what this other person needs. But if you're relying on somebody to come and cover your needs, there is a problem.
If you rely on somebody to come meet your needs,
Yes.
then there's a problem because you should be able to meet your own needs, or you should be able to in turn meet the other person's needs. Which one?
You should be able to meet your own needs. Someone can only help you get it better. Or you should be able to meet your own needs, but someone can only come in and make your life better. You should be good on your own. And that's why they say that ladies should be working. You should. That's why somebody will not be angry that they are not giving them monthly alawi or whatever, because you're not sufficient in yourself. You don't have anything. But if you were comfortable where you could go anywhere, I mean, of course, if I was a billionaire, I'd like my wife to just chill. Like, why do you have to work? But as it is, none of us is a billionaire. So let's work. Let's do what we can do. So you won't be relying on me to do the things that you should be able to do. If I want to eat something, I should not rely on my wife to cook that. I mean, I would love if she can cook it. If she's able to cook it, yes. Why not? But if she can't, I should be able to cook my own food. If I can't cook my food and she can't, I will order the food. It's as simple as that. You cannot rely on somebody to come to become your partner,
Yes.
and then begin to meet all the needs you have.
That's a very important thing that a lot of people need to know. I feel like a lot of young men are actually looking for women who would meet certain needs of theirs, but you are saying they have to be whole and be able to meet all aspects of their needs first, and a woman just comes in to like supplement and build on what is already there.
The same thing applies to
The other way around.
the other way around. And I don't mean this as, oh yeah, you're complete, you're perfect, you have everything sorted out, everything about your life is sorted. No. I'm only saying that you're able to survive, you're able to live as a person,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course this other person comes in and they make your life better. It's just like saying, oh, I'm a young guy, I want to buy a house, but I can't afford to buy a house alone because mortgage is going to be crazy and all
Mm-hmm.
that, and then it's a desire that I have. And then I have a girlfriend who also wants to buy a house. She knows she wants to buy a house. She's
Mm-hmm.
trying to buy a house, and we come together. I mean, if we get married, and then we buy a house together.
Mm-hmm.
That's both of us meeting, helping each other to be better versions of ourselves.
Absolutely.
We want to be this person, and then we grow together to become that person. Not to say that I want to buy a house, and then this person, I'm expecting this person to come and buy the house for me.
I
Then
see.
that there is a fault there is a problem there, because you're already relying on that person to do the things that you should strive
To do
to
it.
do yourself.
Statistically, it says that women initiate divorce more than men,
Mm,
like in the Western world.
interesting.
Yes. So, what do you think could be reasons that women actually initiate divorce much more than men? Like, because it also says that women actually get bored
Mm,
more in a marriage than men, and also says that men are somehow actually more loyal, not in the sense of cheating or other,
mhm.
women or all that stuff. It's more about committed to the marriage. Like as a man, you are a fixer. You are always in that frame of mind where you want to, take ownership, be responsible, and those things actually get you invested.
Mhm.
They get you invested in the marriage, the emotions of it, and you're spending your resources, your time, all that stuff. It's harder for a man to actually check out of a relationship or a marriage than a woman. A woman
Mhm.
is quicker for them. Not that necessarily they would want to leave, but there are so many other reasons a woman would not want to leave a marriage. Let's say for children or economic reasons. You know, there are a lot of people in the States who are together for the sake of, economically, not because they are able. I mean, the cost of divorce is much more than so they are done with each other, but they live together,
Mm,
and then they still have like their other partners coming into the same house,
right.
and they were once married, but they can't like be able to separate because the cost of it is too much, and
Right.
they will lose a lot more.
Mm.
So I know like it's a very kind of like controversial state, but what do you genuinely think could be the reasons that women may get bored faster in a relationship, in a marriage, why they may be more likely to leave such situations, or even not necessarily that they are looking at other men, but they just get maybe bored
Mhm.
and they feel like they are tired of the marriage. Most of the divorce is initiated by women, not men.
Yeah.
And that is actually a thing for a lot of men because now they are more afraid of being in a marriage. That's a consequence of it. The statistics do not lie. A lot of women want to say something and make it how do I put it? Like you want to speak something into being, but you can't speak against stats. If the stats are there, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah. So I'll paint a scenario.
mhm,
Someone comes to you and says, okay, I'll give you every single day, I'll be getting you freshly made meals. Like a chef, like
mhm,
I don't know, even a Michelin star chef
mhm,
tells you that every day they'll be making meals for you. And they do that first day, second day, first month, second month, and they continue doing that for 5 years. Nice meals, well prepared, intercontinental and all
mhm,
of those things. Suddenly, after 5 years, they start giving you burger, and then they drop it down to some random thing picked on the street,
mm,
and then they go somewhere, they pick something. The next day, they give you water, to drink, and that's your meal.
mhm.
How would you feel? deep inside you, you're feeling, so what happened to all the previous years that
Yeah.
you were offering me all these things?
Mm-hmm.
What changed? What's happening? And then you get tired of whatever it is they're providing you or they're giving to you. And the same thing applies. Usually men start, they approach the woman. They call them day and night. They provide everything. You call them, next thing they are, they used to check, have you eaten? Have you done this? Have you done this? And then suddenly they are not asking anymore. Suddenly they don't care whether you've eaten. Suddenly they don't say anything to you. They don't express the things they used to, it's like you set the standard high.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the standard is high and that person comes in at that level, the expectation is that it continues. And I understand that things change over time. It goes down because life happens to everybody,
Yes.
and you don't necessarily feel that all through like your entire life. But the longer it stays, the harder it gets for the
Mm.
person who you started, because you started on a different note. So the moment you change to something else, then it's like, where all those things that you did before, where are they now? Then they begin to think maybe something has changed. Maybe this person doesn't feel the same way about me anymore. And then a lot of things begin to run in the head. They get bored of how you live your life now because you don't do anything anymore. You don't say the things you used to say anymore. You don't act the way you used to act anymore. And then, of course, because that's all they see, it's based on what you used to do. It's based on experience. And that's the best teacher, I guess, so, and then they make their decision.
I feel like even most times women still get bored regardless of even what you do. Even like, for some men, they put in all that work. They even term them the nice guy, the nice man. You
Yeah.
do every single thing, and a woman will still feel some way like she gets bored of you. I don't know if there's a psychology of women that sometimes a lot of young men still find a little harder to understand, like because their psychology is pretty strange. It's almost like sometimes women get attracted to more dangerous. I don't want to call them dangerous,
Yeah, yeah,
bad
yeah,
boys
yeah,
or
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. There's more intrigue or more mystery. Do you think this is something that men should actually work on in terms of maintaining a certain level of mystery with your partner, with your wife, and all that to keep her more intrigued or more interested? It gets hard, obviously, because at some point, you're not, if you have to, as a man, you literally have to wear it, or it kind of like becomes a lifestyle in some way, not necessarily that you are trying to just be mysterious, because it comes off like fake or it comes off not genuine, and then some women can see through that.
Yep.
So how do you, knowing that that's the psychology of most women, how do you actually even balance maintaining your mystery with your wife, with your partner? Not necessarily that she doesn't understand you, she does. Not necessarily that you're not predictable, she can predict you, but you're not just like the mystery around you, that aura, that swag, that personality. How do you continue to even maintain that as a young man and throughout years with a woman? Because sometimes that's actually what makes them check out. That's what makes them feel bored.
Again, I think it all comes down to what you present. Whatever it is that you presented at first is what they hold on to. So if you were presenting the mystery and all of those things, that is the standard.
I
That is
see.
who you are. That is what they will continue to expect. So if you, as you grow older, your mystery or your mysterious life should continue to increase, because that is the standard. It doesn't, of course, once in a while you want to throw some fun, even if you're not a mysterious person, you want to throw some fun, you want to do this, you want to do that, just to make sure that you're trying. But we should also not rule out the fact that some people are just outright irresponsible. No matter
Absolutely.
what you do, you may they don't think you're getting it right. And it won't be your fault. You may be trying everything possible. Some people have been built not to last. They've been wired that way. It's in their head. That's not how God built them. It's just in their head. They just feel like, oh, they tell you, why would I be with the same person for 6 months? It's in their head. So if you meet that kind of person and you're expecting it to go for 5 years, you're joking, because that's how they have been wired
Yeah.
in their heads. So for those people, we cannot take away the fact that it's just height of irresponsibility because you're not even willing to. It's not the job of the man to, and it goes both ways. It's not the job of one person to make sure that your life is great. They would only try, but you're ultimately responsible for yourself. You're first responsible for yourself before the marriage. Because if you cannot treat yourself right, if you cannot get yourself right in your head, you cannot get the marriage right. So that's why you continue to have that expectation. You continue to expect this person to do these things so that I'll be happy. Because it's in your head. Your happiness lies in the hands of this person who is supposed to bring you happiness. It's the person Jesus. So that's so until you correct that in your head and you know that you're ultimately responsible for what you need to do or for your own happiness, for your own joy in that union before that person also adds to it, then there's a problem.
Oh, that's deep. How do you continue to flame a union? Like being from your own experience, being married for I'm not sure how many years now, 5, 6.
Over 4.
Plus.
I'm still a young, but God help us.
you're still new to the game. But being married for 5 years now, you probably dated your partner for how long?
A little over a year.
A year. So let's give you guys maybe like 5 years in overall. Knowing someone for that long and going through a lot of experiences, emotional ups and downs with an individual, how do you actually continue to flame the love that you have for your wife? How do you continue to maintain it? Because 5 years is not really a small period of time. Is there like something you realize was the basic foundation to which you guys could continue in this way? Or is it a continuous effort to, regardless of the foundation, is it a continuous effort to just maintain the relationship, to maintain that love, to maintain that affection? So how do you continue to do that? That's just what I was trying to know.
I think ultimately it's you continue to have conversations. Things change. What I liked 2 years ago is probably not what I like now. And what I enjoy 2 years ago is not what I enjoy now. And that's the same thing with everybody. I mean, some things would remain the same for as long as they continue to be the same. But I think it's about having conversations to say, hey, what's going on? What's changing? What do you like? Some cases you come up with these things. You come up with something, sometimes it might not make sense. And you've done it anyway. And then you get the vibe. Okay, based on the vibe I'm getting, is like this one no enter. And then you try another thing. You have to always come up with something. You have to always help. You have to always, come up with opportunities to travel if you can afford it. Go have dinner if you can afford it. Go do something different, make it new, make it fresh. And then of course, like I said, have conversations. What do you think I'm doing right? What do you think I'm doing wrong? What do you think I can be better at? Am I just ask questions, have that conversation. Of course, it all comes down to how genuine you both are to each other. It all comes down to the foundation you've laid. Because if you've not been having that conversation, you cannot come and start having conversation after 5 years. Things may have gotten bad. So you have to build it from scratch. You grew up with it. It's like part of you. The same way some people sit down every month to do their finances. They know that, okay, at the end of this month, we have to do this today. So that we, you continue that way. You chat, make sure that the things your spouse likes, you're still doing it. The things your girlfriend likes, you're still doing it. The things your boyfriend likes, you're still doing those things to make sure that things stay fresh. And then over time, when those things change, you can get the vibe. They will tell you. You can try new things that will suggest that, okay, these are the new things they enjoy now. And then you continue to do that.
Overall, what would you say are just some pros and cons of being married? Like, do you see any sort of con with actually being married? Do you feel there's any disadvantage at all to just being married?
I mean, the Bible says that your spouse is your help. I will give you a helper. So that means, and then helper does not mean it's the woman.
Yeah.
It's both ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. You get help every single time. Help in all ramifications. Help financially, help socially, emotionally, help. When you're down, someone you can always talk to, right, on your bed or in your living room. So there's that. And then it all comes down to everything you do. You want to start a business, someone to support you. You want to your first fan is should be your partner.
Absolutely.
Which is also a form of help.
Mm-hmm.
Generally you get help. So that's a big pro. Cons. I think it's the fact that you gonna have to think through this so that I say it the right way.
Yeah.
Um, and it's not a lack of freedom,
Mm.
but the fact that you are accountable to someone.
I felt like you were gonna go on that path.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
just the fact that you are
Mm.
accountable to someone. Like
Mm.
I could be reckless, before I got married. Say maybe, oh, I have $10,
Mm.
and then I would spend the $10 on whatever, or maybe I see an opportunity to invest it in something. I'll just go and throw it there.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot do that now, even though being accountable is a good thing. But sometimes it delays you from. It doesn't help you do the things you want to do as quickly as you want to do them.
Mm.
The risks you take as a single person, you can't take
Take
them
them
as a
in marriage.
now, especially now as a father. I cannot,
Yeah.
if the business is not sure, I will not do it because you cannot
Yeah.
afford to just be doing anyhow, because as a single person you'll be fine. You'll
Mm-hmm.
survive, But now it just kind of makes you double think certain things. The things you would just run with normally, you have to double think it, which is kind of like a good and bad thing,
Yes.
But yeah, I think that would be my con.
Do you have any final words for like young people? Anything you want to tell them, share with them? You know.
I mean, I think ultimately it's trust in the process. It's trust the process. Trust God to guide you. Don't be scared to take the step that you need to take if you want to take it. It's not everybody that will take it,
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to move forward and you want to get married, trust God to help you make the right decision. Don't overthink it. Don't over stress about it, because when the right person comes, you'll be able to tell, provided you have prayed and trusted God to
Mm-hmm.
help you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
All right.